Ready? This is to introduce the interface tractor-trailer tester designed by Electric Solutions. Purpose of the device is to do a proper preventive maintenance inspection to the connections between a semi-tractor trailer unit to make sure that the proper electrical and air signals are being sent to the trailer. First, what happens here is we have a box that the tractor will attach to, so it's simulating the trailer, and we're collecting data from each of the electrical wires and the two emergency service airlines that go to the braking system on the trailer. The data is then sent to the app, which we're going to have on this iPad, and the driver can sit in the cab and he can drive around and watch the signals that are being sent to the trailer. So he can see what's happening as the tractor trailer goes down the road, making its deliveries. Okay. First thing that happens is we'll open the app, and we have first a little video explaining to the user that they have to plug in the electrical connector from the tractor into the tester. Corey, would you execute that? And the next thing, and we have a little note here explaining we have to connect the cable to test the device, for the test device to begin, because power for the board inside the tester is derived from the tractor itself. We'll also hook up the service and emergency airlines. And the technician, in this case myself, will sign in, and unit number will be input. In this case, 51741. And at this point, normally the mechanic will go in the seat of the tractor, and he would have the iPad or iPhone in his hand. In this case, for the purpose of the video, we'll keep it here so it's simpler to film. All right, but normally it's designed for him to have it with him so he can see what's happening while he drives around. And also we're collecting data, which will later allow him to fill out the necessary maintenance forms, and in the future for us to send the data directly to a company service maintenance record software. All right, so the first thing that we see is that the system is asking for power. So Corey, would you turn the key to run position? And we see it now has power, so it recognizes the vehicle. And at this point, the two are connected Bluetooth, and we can walk as much as 100 feet away and still see this tractor operate. Okay. We'll begin the test. So Corey, please start the engine. I'll begin test. First thing we see is that we have a peak voltage reading and air pressure reading for each test. Each colored bar is a test, one for each wire and one for each air hose. We have a current reading as well as a peak reading. That's what's happening right now. So we can see that right now the only thing that has a current reading is the auxiliary wire in the 7-way plug. We also have a virtual LED that's lit up to indicate to the technician that it should have a current reading. You can notice all the others are not lit. You'll also notice the green check mark indicating that the readings are correct, they're in range. And you'll notice all the red X's indicating that these readings are not in range. So if these were the final readings, these items would all fail the test. Underneath each one, when we have a failure, you'll notice that we put the lower and higher end of the acceptable range so that the technician could look at the numbers and say, why did I fail, and see that we were too high or we were too low, and begin a diagnostic and a repair. But if we have a check mark, the range is not there, we're in range, there's nothing to test. All right, we'll continue now. Corey, please turn on the marker lights and the clearance lights. So we can see the two LEDs lit. You can see the current readings are displayed, and we can see that we now have green check marks. Corey, please shut off both the marker lights and clearance light. So we can see now the LEDs shut off, indicating that the lights have shut off. Our current readings have gone to 0. However, our peak readings were correct. They stay, and the green checks stay. This is the same as if a guy had written it on the form. This is the numbers we need to preserve for our maintenance records. Please step on the brakes. We see that the brake lights are right now on. We have a current reading, and it's a good reading. Please let go of the brakes. We see they're off, but the current readings, the peak reading stays, and we have a good result. Please turn on the right signal, and we see it's flashing. We see the LED flashing. We see the current reading varying, and we see the peak, however, is 13.7, and that passes. Please turn off the right signal. Please turn on the left signal. And the same, please shut off the left signal and turn on the 4-ways. So we see that they're working, but this time they're going through the two contactors in the flash unit, so we're checking the flash unit 4-way. And the same thing, they pass, and we'll have a peak reading. You can shut off the 4-ways. Now, the only electrical tests we have are for the 2-pole and 1-pole charge lines. These are designed for vehicles that have an external charge cord, which many do, to operate a lift gate on the back of a trailer. This tractor does not have the separate cords to operate those things, so naturally they can't be tested, and many vehicles don't have them, many vehicles do have them, so they're there. If you have them, you can test them. In that case, all of the tests for the 2-pole, both positive and negative polarity, and the single pole, which only has positive polarity, fail because they're not here. Okay, now we'll move to the air brake test. Corey, could you, if you have air pressure, please release the emergency. Okay, so the emergency brake has now been released. That's the red line. We notice we have 100 pounds of pressure, a peak, and it's fluctuating between 99 and 100, and that's a good test. Now, please step on the brake pedal. And there's our service brake. Now that's a little low. Corey, could you raise things up and get over 100 PSI? And we can actually see the air building here. So we're now over 100. So we've refilled the air reservoir. All right, Corey, please step on the brake now. And we pass. That's a requirement of an air brake system to operate at that pressure. The trolley brake is a special device that operates only the trailer brakes and not the brakes of the tractor. So we're going to test that However, the air is supplied through the same service brake line, so we have to tell it that we're at this point using the trolley brake handle instead of the foot valve. So we're going to do that now. I'm going to press this, which you can see the shading move to the trolley brake pedal. And now, Corey, would you engage the trolley brake? And it passed, and now disengage the trolley brake. And you'll notice that it immediately defaulted back to service. And that's how it should work, and we passed. So all tests have passed. The last thing we need to do is a air leak down test, which is required by Federal Register to make sure that there are no leaks in the system. For a single unit that is not designed for tractor-trailer or for a trailer to be attached, we have 1 minute in which we should not lose more than 3 pounds of air pressure per square inch, and on a semi-tractor trailer unit it's 4 pounds per square inch. Okay, we're going to do that test now. So, Corey, put your foot all the way to the floor on the brake and hold it. Okay, now shut the engine off and turn the key to the run position, and we will tell it we're ready to run the